All right. Well, I'm here with,
Billy.
and I'm Jason. We're both students at UM. What are you studying here at UM? Just curious.
So I'm studying public relations right now.
Okay. So am I.
Before I was doing economics, and obviously there was a change of plan. So yeah, I'm liking PR so far. And what about you?
I'm also studying PR, but in general, at the University of Miami, what are some things that you think we could improve upon, just to like have more student morale? Whether it's through in the classroom or I really like the class that we have and the class discussion environment that we have, and I find just as a trend, whether it's UM or just in general, I feel like we discuss and have conversations like this a lot less with each other
No,
from
I
the school
agree.
or outside of the school or anything that you
No, I
feel.
agree. I mean, there are so many activities, but I feel like there is such a disconnect, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, so much is online, right? Whether it's you're submitting something online, whether it's literally your class is online through Zoom. I feel that our generation particularly is being robbed of, in the essence of just what we're doing right now, and just like having a conversation with a friend in a class that I maybe not know so well.
Right.
But most of the time, it's everyone sits in front of their computers, everyone listens to the professor, everyone leaves, everyone gets in their car, everyone goes home, and everyone watches Netflix. And of course, there's plenty of socialization that you can go around, but I think it seems like from an education standpoint, just a society standpoint, we're doing a lot less of this. And is there any ideas you have about?
I'm trying to figure that out because I have the same, thought as you because everyone is like very reserved. And I think like these bigger lectures, like the bigger lecture rooms, I feel like of course that's not going to help at all when there's like 30, 40 students. And I'm trying to think how we can all like connect more. I think maybe everyone should just I guess be forced to talk no matter what. But, what are we going to talk about really, right? That's like meaningful.
Well, I guess yeah. Whatever would be pertaining to the class, it would obviously
Well, of
depend on
course,
that.
of course.
But yeah, I feel that I know a lot of friends of mine that feel very isolated, and I think a lot of that is the product of the way that we do a lot of things nowadays. A lot of my friends aren't in clubs on campus. They go to clubs, but they're not in clubs on campus, and they're not a part of things as much as the way that I at least recall my parents describing the way to do things. I feel that I've been kind of active in things. I've started my own club with my buddy Charlie that's in our class here on campus. So
Oh, what is it?
it's called the Roosevelt Society. It's based on all getting people outside and active and just doing fun activities. It doesn't matter how fast you are, how high you can jump. It's just about getting fresh air and maybe taking that one Tuesday night that you don't have any homework to, instead of just laying in your bed on your phone, to get a group of people together and play some beach volleyball, because we have beautiful beach volleyball courts on
Oh,
our
I
campus.
know.
We're fortunate enough to have so many facilities that I think are used, but probably underused and underutilized. Um, and I don't know, do you feel that way with the people in your circle, that oftentimes people are a lot more isolated than they could be?
Oh,
There's a
for
lot
sure.
there's a lot of potential for.
Definitely just like making plans in general. I know like that's not the number one priority, but just trying to get people together. It's like, oh, like some people are already doing something, and it's kind of like when you're trying to bring people together, it's almost seems impossible, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
I
absolutely.
don't know if I said that the right way,
No, no,
but
no,
I feel
completely.
like you said, like with the phones and everything, I feel like we're all just like going so quickly and just not really slowing down and just like looking around and seeing the people around us. And like you said, striking up a conversation about, whatever it is.
Right.
Just,
I just feel that a lot of people, their mode to get to know someone is their cell phone is the middleman, oftentimes. Whether it's maybe you meet a girl or a guy or anyone these days, right? That you like, but the after your maybe first brief interaction, the first thing you're doing is texting them or like sending photos of yourself to them. And obviously that's the kind of the way we are now, and that's the way it's going. But I think it robs a lot of the just genuine conversation. Even an awkward silence is not a bad thing.
No,
If
and I
two
feel like
people,
that should be normalized
right.
more.
I feel I have, I'm not going to name any names, but I have a personal friend of mine who, if they're chatting with someone, friend, relationship, whatever it may be, and things get quiet, they feel like there's something wrong. But no, it's okay to not know exactly what to say that second. And it's okay to not know exactly what to do that second. And I think we've become so stuck in in this instant gratification, right? That everything, if they're not sending me a text right away, or they're not sending me a Snapchat right away, that something's wrong, or that. So I don't know if you agree or disagree with any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like social media anymore personally. Like, I deleted the apps pretty much, except TikTok, because, like I was saying before, how, like, TikTok is exposing the truth and how, our country's trying to get rid of it. And I just believe we
I don't
learned
know if
so
our
much.
country's trying to get rid of TikTok.
No,
I
like
thought it was, they were
our
trying to get
country's
rid of.
trying to buy it and then kind of like change it around,
I
like
guess
a new owner.
our country is not the biggest fan,
Right.
nor would anyone be, of a foreignly owned company that has so much influence, and especially
Right.
with the algorithm that's used, so much influence on what given the popularity of TikTok, on what we see every day. And I mean, I know that I base a lot of not strong, deep opinions, but surface level opinions on what I see on TikTok, because usually it's a clip of something. It's not like TikTok branded video. It's a video of something or someone else. So if a foreign country were able to tailor, especially during an election, during
Right.
anything, what the population sees and what they see the most of, I think that obviously makes sense. I don't know if I think the issue you're viewing as is a little different. It's not really that TikTok's showing us the truth and the U.S. doesn't want that. I think it's that so many people use TikTok, and so many people, base at least a firm belief of theirs, or some minor belief
Right. Right.
on what they see on TikTok, and that's okay. But if China just decided to make the algorithm push forward very right-leaning content or very left-leaning content, or a very specific type of content that everyone's seeing over and over again, that could be very dangerous. I think it would be very simple to make it's very reasonable to make the comparison, or just the idea that if TikTok tomorrow, right, the election's tomorrow, decided to, only put forward left-leaning content, or whatever side, only
Sure.
put forward right-leaning content, whatever they wanted, to all users, so all users all day would see pro-right or whatever the side is, there would be at least one, definitely a lot more, but at least one vote would be changed because of that. And I think that's what, at least to my knowledge, that's what the United States is concerned about, having TikTok owned by a foreign country, and having that foreign country be China probably isn't their favorite country for it to be owned by either, given they have, China's doing incredibly well right now. They have the largest growing middle class of any developing nation. They went from a huge wealth divide of a lot of poor people, and then some extremely wealthy people, to now virtually all their citizens have health care, which is a problem that we face in the U.S. They have infrastructure projects that absolutely sweep our current infrastructure projects. So whether, and have 1.3 billion people roughly versus our 300 some odd million people. So they outnumber us and outdo us in a lot of ways. I mean,
Right.
I still love America, but their power is not to be undermined. So I think their worry, any wanting to delete TikTok, or to change, any wanting to change ownership of TikTok to make it owned through the U.S. is more so to prevent them from being able to interfere in the U.S.'s perception of things, because we really are so determined by what we watch, right? You know, a Trump supporter likely watches Fox News, right? Likely it is
Of course,
a Kamala Harris supporter likely watches more CNN than Fox News, and vice versa. It is
Right.
so, and that's obviously because we pick news organizations that we like to watch, and that makes sense. However, there is a bit of a echo chamber there, right? So I think in regards to what you were saying with TikTok, I haven't heard much about it lately, but that was my understanding of the reason that the U.S. wanted to intervene. Not like that they were showing us the truth and they don't want us to see the truth. It was more so that they were worried that a foreign country could majorly change the perception of the American public
So you're saying,
in whichever way they wanted. And most likely, who knows, but most likely that way would not be for the benefit of the U.S. It would be for the benefit of them. So that's at least just to my perception of it.
right.
I don't know. I know a little bit about it because I researched it a little while ago, but you just brought it up, and I haven't thought of that for months. So that's
I know. I actually just saw like like one of those random posts saying, mentioning it again. I'm just thinking, the way this algorithm works, it's pretty interesting how it works. Random stuff, and then I don't know if you just mention something. I don't know if this has happened to you. Like if you mention like a brand and then you see like the advertisement.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like how the hell? Like who's listening to me right now on my phone?
There's a few things that it's actually funny that have kind of, debunk that. There is it could be, who knows, right? It's a bit of a conspiracy theory.
No, I know somebody's listening. Like
I don't
come
think
on.
so. I think it's a lot more based on what you search. It's not really what I don't think. I really don't believe, and there's absolutely no evidence to support it that anyone's listening to what you're saying. It's more so when you click like allow cookies on whatever website you use. That means they're allowed to use your data and sell it to advertisers. So the way I view it is that, if you're looking up dog food, you're looking up camera supplies, you're searching it, you're physically searching it, and you're allowing cookies with whatever platform or service that you're using, then it's going to come up in your next advertisement or whatever.
Even if it's like weeks ago, you're saying, right? So it could be just a weird coincidence.
So, we're allowing that. Like you click allow cookies, you can click not to allow cookies. So we're kind of, saying we're okay with that. So as far as when people go like, oh, I said I love that blue Mercedes, and then they get an ad for a blue Mercedes, I don't really think it's because the phone or the computer or whatever is listening to you say that. I think it's just because you probably looked something up that was related to a blue Mercedes not long ago, and you was through your cookies. So they're taking your information and spying on you legally through what you allow and what you search and through those terms and conditions. I really don't think they listen to us at all. I think there's too much we say, and there's too many, especially with Apple and their privacy. They're pretty strong on their privacy there. I mean, could be, but I don't believe if they're listening to you. I believe they're watching everything you type into your phone because you allow it.
Right.
But and then if you say it, it just happens. It's more correlational. I really believe that with artificial intelligence and the way that things are going, I have this little theory of mine. I'd love to share it with you and see.
Go. I know we've been yapping for a while. I don't know how long.
I know we probably have a few more minutes left, right?
Storages, but
I actually see. I think we got another like 50 gigabytes. But this is actually something interesting. I'd love to hear your opinions on, because it's just a thought of mine that I've had. Evolution, right? I hope you believe in evolution, right? That we've evolved and grown as people. I believe the next step in evolution is artificial intelligence trading places and being the predecessor of humanity. I'll explain what I'm saying by that. Now, of course, before us, I don't know. I took this in like high school, so I don't remember it exactly. But there was like Homo erectus and Homo neanderthalensis. Like we've evolved as humans to become better versions of ourselves, and a lot of those reasons for that evolution is because of technology. Anyway. I believe that the way that our AI is evolving now, and it's evolving so rapidly and so quickly, and it's becoming so smart. We were just talking about ChatGPT and how it has memory and it can apply things. Just with I couldn't give an exact time frame, but just with the way that it's growing, sooner or later, it will have its own presence, whether that's like robots walking around like in a movie, or in some way, AI will be tethered into our power grid. They will be tailored into our cars and the drive. It'll just be a part of everything. In the way that the internet's a part of everything. Every text you get through your phone is from the internet or cellular. The way that electricity and the internet is a part of our lives now, AI will be a part of our lives it'll just it'll be woven into everything, right? And I believe that artificial intelligence will not be inherently evil, but it will make the realization that our planet is being destroyed by humans, right? We eat, at a most basic level, we eat, we fly planes, we do plenty of things that are not necessary and that harm our planet. We create an extreme amount of waste, right? So regardless, we are harming. I think everyone would agree. Out of the 7 billion people on this earth, we are not our planet's best friend at all.
Nope.
And I think the artificial intelligence that again, that's woven into everything, will see that and not think like Terminator, like must kill all human beings. Not at all. It won't be like that. It'll notice that okay, with the way that humans are affecting the planet will die. To some extent, it'll become awful and uninhabitable. Eventually, it'll make that a realization. So it'll realize that the only way to cure that is to get rid of the people, right? As if we were a virus, as if we were a sickness. We are sickening and harming our planet. AI will notice that and not be like, I hate humans. It'll just notice that, well, AI needs the planet to exist, and humans are causing real harm to the planet. And since it will have such a grasp on everything around us, like I said, I think it'll be the same way electricity and the internet is just a part of our lives. It will just be a part of everything. I believe it'll either shut everything down, as if, attacking it like a antibiotic to a bacteria, and will shut down our power systems. And shut down our grids and so all our food is unable to be transported. I assume very very soon, I would believe in the next decade, that all trucks will be transported through self-driving. I think the trucking industry in the next decade will cease to exist from human standpoint, because computers don't get tired. They don't need to go to sleep. Truckers can, it doesn't mean they do, but sometimes they are under the influence of something while they're driving. AI is not going to, drink a beer while driving.
So like, how technology malfunctions though? Like,
right.
How could it have the same capability as a human to, I guess, correct its own mistake if it's already like malfunctioning or just having like a error?
I'm sure there'll still be need for humans, but you'd have to give me a more specific. I don't know exactly.
Like, it has to have that kind of like awareness. You know what I'm trying to say? Like us, like we're aware to like, fix what we've messed up.
Well, pull out your phone, write a sentence or write a paragraph, and then ask AI to make it better. Just say, make it better, make it sound better, and it will. And then if you just say, make it better again, they'll make an even more refined version of it. So in the simplest case, I feel like that answers your question. Yes, there's more complex things than that, but if it realizes that it can further improve upon itself. My whole point with all that I was saying is I think that AI will inevitably just result in the human extinction. And that after that, AI will realize that the planet needs AI. The planet needs something that doesn't eat and doesn't party and doesn't fly planes and do a lot more worse things to our planet than we're doing. And it will just be able to be the next step, because we're really not taking much initiative to limit our excessive consumption, and I don't think we really ever will. I think we're quite greedy that way, and I think it'll just realize that it doesn't need to eat, produce waste, do all the negative things that make humans amazing, but also, make humans not efficient in the way that a computer would be. And I think it'll just be so involved in our society that it'll just be able to shut us off with virtually no problem. And maybe there'll be a few people left, but it could virtually extinguish all of us. Not because it's evil, because it just sees the very easy answer to a problem.
So you're saying, like, with AI and people, do you think it's kind of like separating our personal selves and kind of putting on like a display just like for the world? Is that what you're saying with the whole AI?
I just believe that not tomorrow, not in 10 years.
Oh, of course not.
Probably not even in 100 years. But at a certain point, AI, simply put, AI will be so ingrained into our lives, again, said it a few times, but in the same way that when we flick on the lights, power comes on. Not that long ago, we were using candles, right? It was really was 100 years ago or so, we were using candles. So now, we are so reliant on the fact that we can just charge our phones, and we are so reliant on the fact that we can just turn our AC down, and that when we put meat in the fridge, it stays cold so it doesn't go bad. We're so unbelievably reliant on that. Most people can't even get a mile from their house without, Apple Maps or Google Maps. So in the same way that we're so reliant on technology already, this newfound artificial intelligence will just be that.
Right.
Will be as ingrained as lights or internet. It'll just be a new form of something that's ingrained in our lives. However, since we won't have full control over it, it will view us as the issue for Earth and just turn us off. And I really think it's hard to perceive a future that inevitably, in my eyes, that inevitably won't go that way. But that's just my theory. And also, going back to full circle to TikTok, the TikTok algorithm isn't controlled by anyone. No one in TikTok headquarters can completely 100% explain the TikTok algorithm. It kind of it does work on its own, independently. There's not someone some guy in China choosing which videos you get. You get videos. Of course, there's an algorithm, so it's based on your preferences and based on how long you watch a video and if you like it and if you share it. So there's reason behind it. But your next scroll on TikTok is not decided by a person. It's decided by a computer. So what happens when that computer decides that humans are very negative for the planet and artificial intelligence is not, and we only have one planet? That's my thesis,
you know what? I'm gonna go on TikTok and it's gonna be like, get rid of humans, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, maybe. So yeah. Anyway, that's just a thought I had, and I figure if we're in front of these interesting cameras and stuff,
This audience,
it does feel like I feel like there's like a whole live audience behind me, but there's not. But yeah, that's kind of just my thoughts on a possible really strong negative of the way things go. And also with AI, right? I don't think anyone really does much anymore. Like anytime I'm writing an email, I just write an email and then I ask ChatGPT to make it sound better, which...
To abbreviate, right, yeah.
Well, I just say I literally say make it sound better.
Oh.
And it works really well. Like you can just throw out your like random gibberish ideas and for an email for whatever and just say make it so it's still your ideas, it's still your work, but it just makes it sound great. And that's a great thing. I mean, I use it even for texts.
Of course.
If I'm saying like an important text to a friend, I will send the AI response, not because it's not like what I mean, it's still taking my, the essence of what I'm saying, but it's so effective at improving us, and I just don't know what most people are going to... I don't think truckers will be working, and trucking is a huge industry in the United States. I think it's going to be zero in a decade. Zero. Because especially in like a capitalist America, the financial incentive is there. Like you don't have to pay the truckers. The trucks will be able to drive far more hours. Right now, there's like a limit of, I believe, about 12 hours a trucker can drive per day, and then they have to
Right,
rest,
of
or
course.
16.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but it's, a trucker is not legally allowed to drive 20 hours a day because they know that would be dangerous.
Of course.
AI or a self-driving truck can, and we already have self-driving cars.
I mean, they're still working on that, but you're right. Yeah.
Well, Tesla's full automotive self-driving is pretty impressive.
And you have the Waymo, right?
Right.
Like the Uber.
Like there are driverless
self-driving
cars now, and it's pretty impressive. And 10 years ago, that was like science fiction.
Oh, of course.
So I'm saying now, like you take what we have now and give it 10 years. I think it would be, really unrecognizable. So that's right now there's still need for truckers. But in 10 years, what happens when, I don't, there's some statistic, but a solid percentage of the U.S. population is in the trucking industry. It's truck drivers, and this is a very important, essential job. But what happens when all of those are gone? And what happens when all these people that are in charge of, creative directing and work, that maybe they had 50 people on a team, but now with AI they need 2?
But what about these unemployed people? Like, what are they going to do if they put in all their time into this certain career?
Right, that's...
Like, how are they going to, do a full
point.
180? Like, how
Precisely
can they
my
do
point.
that?
I mean, okay, you go to UM, of course. Remember when the dining hall did not have those like little iPads to order?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? That was like, that was still for you, right? Because for my freshman year, it was like that. Like you go into not the dining hall, the food court.
Yeah.
And you press on the iPad to order.
yeah.
Like it's not an iPad, it's a giant.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The idea of an iPad. You were here before that, right? Like when it was you just order with a human being. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I believe so.
If
Yeah,
not, I know for a
whatever, yeah.
fact my freshman year, you went up to the counter, you ordered with a human being like normal. Now, there's human beings, working behind the counter, but you order on this screen. You order on a screen. So, that's already, that's something small, but that's taking away one, cashier
course.
exchange job from every restaurant, or food court service just at UM. That's a small group, but it's already done. You ever see those little like robot things driving around?
Oh, yeah, delivering food?
Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
these are small things, but this is also a relatively new technology. 20 years ago, the idea of like this type of cell phone, like that you could look up anything and have this giant screen, watch Netflix, like that was so foreign just 20 years ago. And look, and everyone has one in their pocket now. So I just see like if cars are already becoming self-driving and it works well and it's improving, but it's already where the tech is there, and this AI technology, it works exceptionally well. And since now everyone knows about it, it's just going to keep getting more venture capital investment and more people working on it. It's going to snowball effect. I just think it's going to go way too far, way too fast.
Yeah, the only thing that I think is like way too far already is if you have like a voice recording of like maybe 4 or 5 seconds, AI can totally like make up a false like statement of what you said. And I think
yeah.
that's so like such an invasion
Yeah, it's going to be
of like privacy, and like even like a video now too. You could have like a video of you like saying something that you're not saying. Like, doesn't that freak you out?
Yeah. I don't even know what that's gonna lead to, because
I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to know.
I've already
I don't-
seen joking or clips of Joe Biden, Trump, or whoever it may be, like powerful politicians, and they're completely faked.
I
And he
believe
can-
them. I believe
You
some of them.
believe them? Yeah,
Some,
I
for a
definitely
second.
believed some for at least a second too, but you kind of realize they're real. But you kind of realize they're fake. But, what are we gonna do at that point? What happens when you get a video of whoever the current president is, right? At whatever time, you have a perfect faked deep fake, right? That's kind of what they call them, deep faked video of them just completely, calling out all out war. And you send it to a country that's maybe not a huge country, but a little more like on the a smaller country, and they see that, and maybe their leader's already a little crazy, and maybe their leader doesn't call the UN or whatever, and they think the first thing they need to go is all out war. Like what? That is something that is so possible and so soon, and or even just with anything, what your word, what you say will be now always questioned
Yeah.
when that deepfake becomes good enough, like, and when they really become pretty much perfect, who's gonna even know what's true and what's not?
That's what I'm saying. It's like nothing's authentic anymore.
Right.
Like
Right.
now, like you're saying, like things are, coming out more and more, and it's not gonna stop. It's probably in like 1 year from now, like we're gonna see something that we couldn't have even imagined.
Right.
It's probably gonna freak us out, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. I just, and there's no regulation on it, right? There's no, like, if you have a good service, like a good, program that can make a fake video of someone and look very real, any guy in their basement, whatever can do
Yeah.
that, and post it on the free, media, or whether it's, Twitter, which is like X, or, X, you can kind of like post whatever you want on it. How do you like how do you stop that, or how do you stop like really horrible things I don't, it's that's what I'm
There's
saying.
no stopping.
I think we've just gone too far. I think, look, we all have great phones, right? I have a brand new iPhone. It's great. It does everything I need. It's an amazing camera. I don't think we really need much more than that right now.
No.
Like, I can ask Siri to do whatever I want. If I ask ChatGPT to, make my, email sound better, it'll do a good job. I think we gotta like stop. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is good. This is great. Like, what we have right now is and I think going super full circle all the way back to what we were saying in the beginning was that, people are becoming so much more isolated. And if this continues,
Yeah.
they're just gonna be like, I think we already have enough convenience. Everything, like, no,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can complain. You can get DoorDash wherever you want, right? Like,
Exactly.
no one can complain. You get Uber Eats, an Uber. We have plenty of convenience, and we already have way too much isolation and depression.
Right.
And I think all that this future of technology is just going to become unnecessary levels of extreme convenience and unnecessary levels of desperation and isolation and depression. Yeah. I think it would be great if we were all just like let's whatever we got.
Just take out our phones and just like
Well,
freaking throw them. Across
Well,
the room.
or like whatever.
No, I'm serious,
Or we'll just
because-
maybe keep the phones just right now.
No,
like-
because they're on our side so much. I feel like we just have to like get rid of them for a minute. You know?
Absolutely. Well, something I do is
Like it's glued to us, literally. It's,
Yeah. I mean, I have a car here now, but I still go on, frequent bike rides into some really nice. There are some really nice spots in nature down here, even though it's a big city.
That's good.
And I just completely get off my phone, and I'm a big fan of like take off your shoes and like stand in the grass, not in
Just
like
be grounded more.
right. Yeah, I'm very into. I mean, I don't know if it like heals you or whatever. I just like doing it.
Yeah.
But grounding. Just standing on the earth in a nice place, not like right outside of Publix. Like, go to somewhere beautiful in nature.
Yeah, Key Biscayne or something.
Yeah, somewhere
yeah.
very nice and secluded, and just isolate there. But that may be harder and harder to do soon. So.
I think we should sum it up here, I guess.
Yeah, I think.
'Cause I
we've
think we
talked
had
for a while. I
pretty-
think we've had a good. I don't know.
Good points.
I really appreciated what you had to say and everything. I don't know. I feel like we're locked in here like a prison. Anyone hear us?
No.
Hello.
Let us out.
Let us out, please.